Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. I had a little bit of stuff on here, and then I decided I wanted to start getting rid of this old scrap wood that was basically going to be bonfire wood anyway. So, burning that down, there was some other lumber that had to be burned down, so that's what's happening with that. So that's why the pile's there, and that's why the fire's going. And again, it's not too close to the propane tank. I know people are going to bring that up, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to go over to the propane tank, and the fire's that far away, so we're not even close to the propane tank, so it's not an issue in any way, shape, or form. So, but you know, so I have actually two burn places that I burn. I burn here, and I burn over on the other side. And it's just because this is always was a nice spot because it's well open, and there's nothing close to it. And so that's why we've always used this as a burn pile. And I know that people have talked about, like with the pallets and stuff like that, you know, the nails and all that kind of stuff. And there are some in there, but we'll get that all raked up and stuff anyway. But yeah, so burning some stuff off that way. So I wanted to talk today really quickly, and actually we ended up having a fairly nice day. I think we had almost 6 kilowatts of power brought in. I had to do an adjustment before we get into talking. I want to talk about this in a second real quick. We'll go into here, and I will talk about this really quickly, just so you guys can understand, okay? And with the batteries, and there's the chickies. And alright, so with the batteries, actually we're at 6 kilowatt hours in for today. Okay, we lowered the parameters down with the Midnight Classics, okay? We had it at 28.6. You can actually hurt your batteries by trying to put too much power into them, okay? So what we did is 28.6 was absorption mode, okay? And then 27.2 was float, all right? What we did now is I changed both of the settings on these, so because it was trying to push that 28.6 into these batteries, and it would peak out at like 27.5 is what the batteries were peaking out at, but it was doing too much work, okay? So what I did was I lowered the parameters on here to 27.4 instead of 28.6, okay? So now absorption mode is 27.4 instead of 28.6, and then float is still 27.2. So I hope that makes sense. And basically what it is it's not going to be trying so hard to put so much power into the batteries when the batteries don't want that much power. Because again, you can hurt your batteries by overcharging them as well. So here's all these new buckets that I just did from the other day. I think I'm going to end up putting them down in the other outbuilding, and I'll show you where I'm going to put them. But for right now, they're fine there. Those are all the recent canning jars that I purchased. I have some other stuff that I'm going to throw in the canning jars as well. So there's all the babies. And so now what they're doing, because they kept kicking all their food out of their dishes, so I stopped putting food in the dish today, and I'm like, because there's so much food wasted on the ground, they can scratch around and get the food on the ground for a couple of days, because that's going to be a better way for them to get it. But they're doing good, they're getting big, and they're healthy, and they're happy. But so I hope that explains that part of it, so you guys understand. Alright, but that kind of, hopefully that clears that up so you can kind of understand. But we had to, again, it's a totally different battery that I'm using, and so you have to adjust your system accordingly, okay? So anyway, so topic of the video, let's get into that, right? Since we're now like 4 minutes into this video. Why should you be a prepper? Why should you strive to be a prepper? Why should you strive to be off-grid? And there's a lot of answers to that question, okay? A lot of answers. And I definitely want to hear your feedback. What are your thoughts on why you should be a prepper, why you should be off-grid, okay? But the number one reason for me, for either category, prepper or off-gridder, is freedom. That's probably the biggest thing for me, is having that freedom. And to be in a position where you are prepared for whatever is going to happen, again, that's another advantage. You know, a lot less stressful, I'll be honest with you. With putting yourself in a position where, regardless of what happens, if the grid goes down, if there is food shortages, if there is, anarchy, and if there is civil unrest, you're in a pretty good position as a prepper and as an off-gridder to be able to handle those situations where the normal public would not. Okay, I was thinking about this, and it was just, and I was, because of this situation, again, and I just kind of wanted to use this as a demonstration. So I don't know if a lot of you have probably heard, there was a emergency room doctor who was the head doctor of that emergency room that had ended up getting the virus, and then she was down with her family, I believe in Virginia, and she committed suicide. Okay, dealing with death, dealing with sickness and tragedy and those type of situations, which are not normal, that ends up really causing people, it affects people mentally. And not everybody handles everything the same way. I mean, some people can handle a whole lot and some people cannot. I mean, it just depends on your mental makeup and your stability and all those type of things that go with that. But unfortunately, this doctor ended up committing suicide. So I was going to use that in a correlation of, in an SHTF situation, you are going to have people that are going to quit, that are going to be like, I'm not doing this, this is too much, this is not normal, I can't handle it, and they're going to kill themselves. And that's exactly what will happen. And it's unfortunate. It is definitely part of what happens, because people deal with stress in several different ways. Well, one of the things with being a prepper, with being off-grid, is you reduce your stress. That's one of the main things with it, especially being off-grid, guys. I can tell you from personal experience, because obviously I am off-grid, my stress level since I moved out here and started working, and I got projects. I'm always going to have projects that I'm going to be doing here. That's going to be going on for years and years. There's going to be this project, the next project, the next thing, and the next thing. But that's not stressful. That really isn't. Like getting the battery room built and working on the woodshed and getting that's not stress. It really isn't. Because in my mind, you set that goal, you achieve that goal, you work on it, and then you work on the next thing. And however long it takes is how long it takes. Okay? But if you're working at things methodically in a regular way, things get done. And so when you see those goals come to fruition and you've reached that goal, it's a wonderful, awesome feeling. And so that's the biggest thing I would take away from that. It's so much less stress. You get things squared away the way that you want it, and you get things done. And it really reduces those frustrations and stuff in life. With being a prepper, it's really important to realize that, again, and I'm going to say this, and I've said it before, the 95% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. 2 weeks means they don't have enough food and water in their house to survive for 2 weeks without some kind of help. Okay? That's very stressful. Very, very stressful. So if you can put yourself in a position where you don't have that stress to believe, oh my God, how am I feeding the kids? How are we going to take care of things? When you don't have those stressors in your life, it makes your life a lot easier, okay? And then if you have more than that 2-week supply of food and water, it just makes your life that much better. It helps you sleep better at night because you don't worry about those things because you got that covered, okay? Those are important things to remember. And so with working on things and getting things done and working at it methodically, like I said, it is amazing how the stress level just completely goes away. Not having that gas and electric bill every month like everybody else does, That's nice to have. I don't have to worry about somebody coming here and saying, I'm turning your power off because you didn't pay your bill. Well, I don't have a bill. And so they can't turn my power off, okay, because it's mine. And so that's a great feeling to have. And so I encourage anybody that can do it, get it done. If you're in an area where you can't have it done, if they don't allow it, go someplace where you can. Freedom is the one thing, to a degree, where nobody's ever going to be 100% free. Don't get me wrong, because we're still always going to have taxes. There's going to be those responsibilities. But if you can put yourself in a position where you don't have that stress like everybody else does, it's going to make your life better. I'm going to tell you what, where I was at before, working 66 hours a week, I did it for 10 years, and, just stressed to the max. I was working my way into a nice heart attack or a nice stroke, okay? Really was. I've had people tell me that since I moved out here, and like I said, June, we'll start our 6th year full-time at the homestead, all right, that I actually look younger now, that I look better than I did when I did 5 or 6 years ago. And that really is telling, because of the amount of pressure and stress and everything that a person is under, how that can take its toll on you. Well, when you don't have that, it makes your life better. And don't get me wrong, it has taken a long time and a lot of work to get to where we're at now. And it did not happen overnight. Anybody that's watched this channel for any length of time knows that this has taken time to get to where we're at now. And there's a long way to go. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm pretty happy where I am. Really, really happy where I am. And it's been a lot of work, but it's, like I said, it's well worth it. But again, stress in your life is bad for you. It's not good for you. So if you're worried constantly about bills and how you're going to take care of things, and then on top of that, if you have children and something happens, how are you going to take care of them? Have you prepared for that? Those all make a big difference. So like I said, I want to hear your guys' feedback on this topic. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I think it's an important topic to discuss because it's such a difference maker in your life when it comes to where you're at, what you're going to do, what you want to accomplish. I mean, I'll tell you what, and anybody that watches the channel knows, I made this move at 50. So it wasn't like I was a 25-year-old kid deciding that this is what I'm going to do. I was 50 years old when I made this move. So, but I'm going to tell you, even at 50, it is the best decision that I have ever made, other than having my kids, obviously. But best decision I made because it was for my future. I was looking at my situation going, okay, 50 years old, where am I going? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to get done? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind for my children? I don't want to leave my children in a situation where they had to take care of my debt after I was gone. So I made changes, and now there is no debt, and it's a great feeling. It really, really is. And like I said, the stress is not there. And so that really makes a big difference. So I definitely, like I said, I want to hear you guys' feedback. I want to hear what you guys say, what you guys think. Why is it so important to be a prepper or off-gridder? Why is that important? So definitely in the comments, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Like I said, it ended up being a halfway decent day today. We pulled in 6 kilowatt hours, which is fine. Way more than I need. Which is awesome, I mean, it's like, it's a great feeling. It really, really is. And, now that we have the new batteries and we have the power on 24 hours a day, that's awesome as well. So, really, really makes life much better. So, but again, it's taken us a while to get here. Anything worthwhile takes work, okay? So, anyway, so that's where I'm at. That's what we got going on. I hope you guys are all doing well. And, having a good week so far. And, I know it's only, Tuesday? So, early in the week yet, but another day goes by. Hopefully the weather is finally breaking here, which would be nice. Mom spent the night last night, and she actually slept out in the other building. And it was chilly last night. So I made sure she was loaded up with a lot of blankets because I said, you want to be in a house? And she goes, no, I'll sleep out here. And I'm like, okay. So I made sure she had plenty of blankets, and she was okay. She got through it all right. She wasn't froze to death this morning, so that was good. We got her car fixed today, so her car is squared away now, so that's good as well. And then she went back to my sister's. But her plan is she plans on spending much more time out here while things are being done. So she's here and she can work on things. And that's what she said. I want to help. I said, all right, Mom, I'll let you help. So she's, she puts along. She does it at her own pace, which is fine. But hey, anything that she does is a bonus. That's the way I look at it. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That's important to remember. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. Also, remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, whatever you are trying to do, you can do it if you work at it methodically. And like I said, I'm a great example of what that, living by that mantra. Again, none of this happened overnight. It has taken a long time. I have a long way to go to be where I want to be. But you know what? I will get there. You give me 5 years, and if we don't have a true SHTF event in the next 5 years, I'm going to reach my goals. And I'm going to have this place awesome, very self-sufficient, and then I will probably move on to other projects because that's kind of how I roll. I will always want to be busy working on something, getting something else going. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, I'm going to jump off of here. I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.